They say we all have the same 24 hours, but that's not true when you're broke. When you're broke, time bends. It stretches on when you're waiting for payday, but it shrinks when the bills come in. Wealthy people can use their hours to think, to plan, to invest, to dream. But broke people, they spend their hours surviving. You don't get the luxury of a vision board when your reality board is screaming, rent, $1,200, groceries, $500, gas and bills, whatever's left, which is nothing. You're not wondering, should I invest in a Roth IRA? You're wondering, can I make it to Friday without swiping the credit card? This is the silent truth most financial gurus skip over. Not because they're evil, but because they started with money, or at least a safety net. They don't know what it feels like to choose between gas for work or groceries for the week. Robert Kiyosaki calls this being stuck in the rat race, the endless loop of work, bills and debt that never gives you a chance to get ahead. And here's the thing, most advice is written for people who already have a few rungs on the ladder. But what if you're not even on the ladder yet? What if you're still standing on the ground, looking up, wondering how to take the first step without falling backward? That's what this is about. Not the people on their fifth rental property, not the crypto millionaires, not the I started a business at 14 prodigies. This is for the people who feel stuck and want a way out. Because even if you're starting with very little, you still have moves. Not hype, not theory, but real, tested steps that shift the direction of your life. They won't solve everything overnight, but they'll give you 3 things you desperately need: leverage, clarity, control. Let's start with one of the most misunderstood pieces of financial advice. But before we go in, do well to click the like button, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more powerful nuggets on wealth creation. Let's go. Lesson 1. Stop chasing handshakes. Build something first. In the social media age, networking is treated like the magic key to success. Your network is your net worth. Get in the right room. Surround yourself with winners. Sounds smart, until you walk into that right room, empty-handed. Imagine you walk into a room full of investors and business owners, and they're swapping million-dollar ideas. You say, "I'm passionate, and I'd love a mentor." They smile politely, and then move on. Why? Because networking isn't charity, it's a value exchange. And if you haven't built any value yet, no skills, no projects, no results, then what exactly are you offering? Most successful people didn't start with connections. They started alone, doing work nobody clapped for. They failed quietly. They built skills in silence. They tried, failed, adjusted, and tried again, until one day they had something worth showing. That's when networking became useful, because they weren't begging to be noticed. They were proving they could contribute. So if you're making $2,500 a month and trying to change your life, don't waste hours chasing influential contacts. Write code, design graphics, learn video editing, launch a side service, a product, a blog, a podcast, even if it's messy, even if no one's watching. Because once you've built something, your conversations change. You stop saying, "Can you help me?" and start saying, "Here's what I've built, let's collaborate." Your future network doesn't care how excited you are. They care how prepared you are. Build first, talk later. Lesson 2. Your budget is a battlefield. When your income is small, every dollar is a soldier. Lose enough soldiers and you lose the war. Here's the irony. Most broke people don't get ruined by one massive, irresponsible purchase. They get ruined by small, innocent ones, over and over again. The $12 takeout because you were tired. The $18 Uber because you were late. The $30 subscription you forgot to cancel. Alone, they feel harmless. Together, they're a slow leak that sinks the ship. Let's put numbers on it. 2 delivery meals a week, that's $100 a month. A couple Ubers, $60. Streaming subscriptions, $40, that's $200 a month. 8% of your income gone. And here's the trap. None of it felt like a luxury. It was just lunch or just gas or just Netflix. But just is how the rat race keeps you stuck. Kiyosaki would say every dollar you spend is either making you richer or making someone else richer. The fix? Intentionality. Cook at home even if it's boring. Take the bus, even if it's slower. Hang with friends at home, even if it's awkward to skip the bar. When you earn less, you can't outspend the environment. You have to out-discipline it. Lesson 3. Comfort is a cage. Most people don't stay broke because of money. They stay broke because of comfort. Your current life might not be great, but at least you know how to survive in it. You know how to juggle bills, how to make $2,500 stretch, how to tell yourself, maybe next year. But starting something new, a side hustle, a second job, a new skill, means walking into the unknown. And the unknown is scary. You might have to risk looking dumb. You might fail in public. You might get rejected or laughed at. And so most people run back to their comfort zone, not because it's good, but because it's predictable. But here's the truth. Discomfort isn't danger, it's progress. If building a better life feels awkward, lonely, or uncertain, good. That's what growth feels like. Every late night learning a new skill, every awkward sales call, every video no one watches, these are down payments on the life you want. Most people quit when it's cold and uncomfortable, but if you keep going, you won't need motivation, you'll have momentum. Lesson 4. The art of saying no. The fastest way to stay broke is to spend like everyone else, especially when you're trying to live differently than they do. Your friends will invite you to drinks, your co-workers will suggest just one weekend trip, your cousin will finance a car she can't afford and tell you it's worth it, and you'll feel the pull because you don't want to seem cheap or miss out. But here's the truth. Every yes to them is a no to your future. It's not about never having fun. It's about protecting your direction. Kiyosaki teaches that wealth is built by saying no now, so you can say a much bigger yes later. No to the third round at the bar, so you can say yes to a paid-off home. No to the overpriced concert, so you can say yes to a 6-month travel break one day. No to loaning money to someone who never pays back, so you can say yes to helping someone when it truly counts. Every no now makes your yes later more powerful. Lesson 5. The debt illusion, and why most people never see it coming. Let me ask you something. Have you ever swiped your credit card and told yourself, I'll figure it out next month? Maybe your car broke down, maybe your kid needed medicine, or maybe you were just too exhausted to cook, so you hit that order now button on your favorite food app again, and you tell yourself, it's fine, that's what credit cards are for. But here's the part they never put in the commercials. Debt isn't a lifeline, it's a time bomb. It doesn't solve your problem, it simply hides it for a while. And when the bill finally shows up, it's wearing armor, carrying interest rates like swords. Put $1,000 on a credit card and just pay the minimum. Miss a payment. Now you're looking at interest rates of 23% to 25%, even 29%. That $1,000 quietly grows into $1,200, then $1,600, then $2,400, not because you're buying more, but because time is now working against you. Debt is like planting a weed in your wallet, and every month you water it, not with money, but with stress. And it's not just numbers on a statement. Debt is emotional. It makes you second-guess yourself at the grocery store. It follows you into conversations. It's the whisper in your head when you're trying to fall asleep. And worst of all, it steals your momentum. Because how can you think about building wealth when you're just trying not to drown? If you've ever felt the weight of debt holding you back, smash that like button so YouTube knows this is a conversation worth having. And subscribe because we're breaking down money truths they never taught us in school, step by step. And drop your own debt stories in the comments. The moment you realized something had to change. I read every single one, and if you share yours, I'll give it a heart so you know I've seen it. Lesson 6. The truth about escaping debt. If you're debt-free right now, guard that freedom like your life depends on it, because financially it does. If you're already in debt, stop pretending it's manageable, if it's not. Cut up the card, call the company, negotiate, sell something, take an extra gig, not because you should feel ashamed, but because you should feel done. Robert Kiyosaki says, the borrower is a slave to the lender, and slavery to debt isn't just about money. It's about years of your life being silently stolen. Credit cards, store cards, payday loans, they're not tools, they're traps. Use them wrong, and they don't just take your cash, they take your future choices. Lesson 7. Income versus identity. Too many people speak about their paycheck as if it's their identity. I only make $2,500 a month. I'll never get ahead. Your income is not who you are. It's a situation, and situations can change. But here's the catch. Most people are taught to survive, not to grow. So instead of asking, how can I earn more? They ask, how can I cut more? They stop using paper towels. They rinse out Ziploc bags. They cancel $7 subscriptions and feel victorious. Meanwhile, the rent still comes, the car still breaks down, and no amount of extreme couponing will make you wealthy. Kiyosaki's principle is clear. You will never save your way out of poverty if your income never grows. Think about it. Which moves your life forward faster, cutting $30 from your food budget, or earning an extra $300 a month? One feels like punishment. The other feels like progress. If this is making you see money differently, hit that like button so more people can find it, and subscribe, because the next point could be the one that changes everything for you. Lesson 8. The growth mindset shift. You don't need to invent the next Uber. You don't need to quit your job tomorrow, but you do need to stop treating just enough as your final destination. Ask yourself, what skill could I learn in 30 days that someone would pay me for? What service could I offer locally or online right now? What can I sell, fix, teach, or create that solves someone else's problem? You could flip items on Facebook Marketplace, freelance on Fiverr, tutor online, babysit, edit videos. Even an extra $100 a week, just $14 a day, adds up to over $5,000 a year. And here's the secret, that extra income isn't tied to your bills, it's tied to your future. Lesson 9. The rule that changes everything. Most people handle money backward. They spend first, then save if there's anything left. Spoiler, there never is. Kiyosaki's rule, pay yourself first. Before rent, before groceries, before Netflix. Even if it's just $20, set it aside like it's a bill you can't skip, because that $20 isn't about the money, it's about the message. I believe in my tomorrow more than I fear my today. Over time, that habit becomes a muscle. $20 becomes $100, then $300, then $1,000. But if you wait until you make more, you never will, because lifestyle inflation will eat it. If you can't save $20 from $2,000, you won't save $200 from $5,000. It's never about the amount, it's about the mindset. Lesson 10. Why building wealth feels so hard. It's not because you're lazy, it's not because you're bad with money, it's because you're doing something most people never do, building wealth from scratch. No inheritance, no shortcuts, no magic windfall, just grit. That path is slow, quiet, invisible, until one day, it's not. One day your debt is gone, your savings is real, your skills make you valuable, and for the first time, your money starts working for you instead of against you. That's when everything changes. Not because the world got easier, but because you got stronger. If this hit you, remember, every dollar you save today is a silent worker that never calls in sick, never sleeps, and never retires. Put them to work now, so one day you won't have to work to make money, but rather money work hard for you while you relax. Remember this, money doesn't change who you are. It amplifies the habits you already have. If you build the habit of control, of growth, of paying yourself first while you have little, those same habits will protect and multiply what you have when you have a lot. But if you keep ignoring your future, swiping today, and hoping tomorrow will save you, you'll always be stuck in the same cycle. So start now, not next month, not next year. Your freedom clock starts the second you decide it does. If this message lit a fire in you, hit that like button, subscribe, and share this with someone who needs to hear it. Because the journey to financial freedom is tough, but it's a lot easier when we walk it together. Thanks for watching. We appreciate you.